I'm expecting to see that everybody is sitting next to their reading partner because you're going to be doing work today with your partner like you do. So make sure you are with your partner so that when I say turn and talk or work on this together, you're right with that person. Okay, so today I'm going to give you a little permission to do this. I want you to start reading a little further and stronger in your book, like longer and stronger, and taking the detailed notes. I want you to be thinking about those things that we talked about last week, the choices, the challenges, and the lessons. We haven't talked fully about the lessons yet, but I want you to think about choices, challenges, lessons of your person. And I want your notes today, starting from today on, to really focus in on those key things. Because if my character got up, and like my character I'm reading, Benjamin Banneker, if he got up and he decided to go for a walk, and he met a friend, and he went fishing, like that's all great, and I could write a journal entry like, today I got up and it was a beautiful day, so I decided to go fishing. While I was walking through the woods, I met a new friend. Like, that's all great details, but is that like life-changing challenges or choices? So now I want you to focus in on more of that. Not only to move us along, because we want to finish this, but also to keep your learning focused on those really important details. Not that the little ones aren't important, they are, but do you guys know what I'm saying? So some of you are saying it's slowing me down because I'm writing so much in my journal. Take a little bit, I'm giving you permission to kind of skip over the little things and go for the big things. Now, today I want to teach you something that I've seen a few of you doing really, really well. It's ways to figure out unknown words. And Tammy made this chart. It's wonderful. And so it's ready for me to fill in some strategies because some of you are doing a really good job at finding unknown words. And then I've also noticed on the other side, some people, and I've been guilty of this too, are kind of skipping over some words and missing them and just keep going. And could those words be important? Yes. So I noticed that as you get older, your books are getting a little tougher. And as you read more and more and more in 4th grade, you're getting to read a little more challenging books. And sometimes the most challenging books you read are the nonfiction books, and especially biographies. Why do you think biographies might be more challenging than reading a fiction book? Turn and talk. Go.
It's because
Boys and girls. Oh, I don't have my mute button. I took it off.
Yay!
But it's right here. Okay. All right, mute button. So I heard this right away. The first 3 people right here, because I didn't get up and move right now, I just listened in where I'm sitting. The first 3 people I heard out loud said because it takes place in a different time. Or because it's written in a different, not language, it's written in a different place than you live. So do we all live on a farm, a tobacco farm like my character? I have words in my book that I don't know because I don't live on a tobacco farm. I live in a neighborhood right up the street. So I have to really read the book and think, like, I'm not reading this book now. It's not taking place today. It's taking place hundreds of years ago. And that's what, when you're reading books that take place hundreds of years ago, their words are different. And there's things that we don't use anymore that these characters are using. So I'm going to give you an example of something that I read recently. I was reading about Henry Hudson, and this is a little snippet of a biography that I found online when I was learning about Henry Hudson. And I'm just going to read a little bit to you. And I want to show you how I challenged myself to read these hard words. And I'm going to put it up here for you so you can see it too. Okay, I'm not reading the whole entire thing, just a little bit, a couple paragraphs. All right, Henry Hudson, he's the person that we're reading about the most in our read aloud books. So this is about his early life. Let me make it bigger. Okay, I'm going to skip right down to this part. While many places bear his name, Henry Hudson remains an elusive figure. There is little information available about the famous explorer. prior to his first journey as a ship's commander in 1607. It is believed that he learned about the seafaring life firsthand, perhaps from fishermen or sailors. He must have had talent for navigation early on, enough to merit becoming the commander in his late 20s. So the word I highlighted, as I read this, I thought, I'm not really sure I know what this word means. Elusive. It's not a word I use very often in my regular conversation. I know I might have seen it before, but I'm not exactly sure if I had to tell you what it meant, what it means. So let's see if we can figure it out together. While many places bear his name, Henry Hudson remains an elusive figure. So I'm knowing the word right now is being used as an adjective. So what I'm going to write down next to it, because I can write on this because it's not a book. If you have a book, you can use a sticky note, right? I know it's an adjective, so it's describing him. Now I'm going to read on and see if I can figure out what it means from the context around this word. There is little information available about the famous explorer. So it could mean interesting. While many places bear his name, so that tells me that lots of places are called Hudson. Hudson River, Hudson Bay. Now, Hudson Grill. It could be restaurants with his name. But, so do a lot of people know his name?
Yeah.
Henry Hudson remains an elusive figure.
Mysterious?
Ooh, I like that. Mysterious?
Mysterious.
Okay, so let's see if that works. Watch what I do with that word, the adjective mysterious. I'm going to put it in and see if it works. While many places bear his name, Henry Hudson remains a mysterious figure. There is little information available about him. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think it does, because look what we just did. We just figured out 3 really tricky words by using the text to figure it out. You did a really good job. So let's talk about some of the strategies we use. And let's start a chart for this. Okay, so one of the ways I saw you figuring out unknown words is to, you use context clues. While I'm writing this, I'm going to ask every partner to take 1 sheet. So there's going to be a few extra sheets, but every partner takes 1. So if your partners, you're going to have 1 sheet, you can both put your names on it. So I'm going to start. Some going this way, some going this way, and some going this way. You're only going to need 1 per partner, not 1 per person. So you guys use context clues to figure out your unknown words. Another thing I saw you do, okay, keep looking up here. Another thing I saw you do was kind of, you can think about, Mason, how the story goes. There's going to be extras, just keep it. Like sometimes you just think this story is going like this, so I'm thinking this word might mean this. Or you've already read part of the story, boys. You've already read part of the story, so you have background knowledge about what the person might be doing or thinking, and that helps you figure out the word. What's another strategy we can use for figuring out unknown words that we maybe didn't even use today? You can use a dictionary. You didn't do that today. What else do we have in our book sometimes to help us? Glossary. One other strategy that you use. Leah specifically said she looked at the word and thought, looked at the word and thought, this is what she did. What does this remind me of? Or she asked herself, what? Oh, I'm running out of ink. What does this remind me of? that's where she said like forbid, forbade. I know forbid, so this must be that. And then also, going along with that same one, you look at prefixes, suffixes, and root words. Okay? The sheet I gave to you right now has 4 examples, and in these examples there's called nonsense words. These are really not words. They're made up words. But I want you to try to figure it out with your partner. You have about less than 5 minutes to do this. So go. Okay. These are words that are make-believe. So in the first one, it talks about a warbird, right? A warbird. I never heard that word before. So I think you figured out that warbird means okay. And then in the second clue, you have a ulid, and it's talking about a ulid. Some people over here, this group, was saying that they're one person kept saying it means research, another person said it means library. So what clue did you guys use that it definitely meant a library? Girls, what was the clue that you helped you know it was not research but a library?
I said resource, not research. It says it was filled with famous books and magazines.
Because it's filled with these things. So yes, and she went to it. You go to something, it has to be a place. Okay, the next one, gimish. What's a gimish? Clouds, and then the last one, a kilfoot.
A mummy.
A mummy. Yeah. I saw that you guys all had the right answer. You did a great job. So it's fun, isn't it? Today while you're reading, you know I gave you permission to read strong and long. Not every single detail I want you to write down in your journals. I want you to keep reading so that you have a lot of reading done today. Tonight for homework you'll be reading also. We're going to keep going with this book at home. Now today I want you to use these strategies, and always, today and always when you read, context clues, how to figure out unknown words, all these strategies, and there's probably more we don't even have on here, right? Okay, so I'm looking for this. Today, at the end of the day, I would love to find somebody in this room who has come across a word that they didn't know and they used a strategy. So when you're doing this today, if you could kind of write it on a little sticky note and keep it for me, and at the end of the day, I could share your example. Because sometimes I won't know that you do this because you're reading quietly, but if you tell me, oh, Mrs. Jones, I found this word on page whatever, and I had to figure it out using one of these strategies, I would love to share that. So can you all help me with that?
Yeah.
Okay, off you go. Alright, so today we're about 5 or 6 days into this unit where you're reading your book and you're keeping a journal. And you're doing a really good job at reading your biography. And I can tell by looking that you've either finished or you're really close to finishing. This is your bookmark. So as you're getting close to finishing your book, what I want to see you doing is writing in your journal. So you have quite a few entries. You have 2? Or is this a few put together or just one big long one? Okay. And how have you been keeping notes in your book? Where are you keeping notes as you read? Okay, did you hear what she said? She's putting sticky notes on pivotal choices and challenges. So she's doing exactly the work we all were supposed to be doing. Good, and you have it in your journal, and where are you keeping your notes? No, not there, because that wasn't one of the options. Let me see, show it to me. Let me see your notes. Because we're writing, the point is we're writing these journals just like we're the person in our biography, but we're using the text as evidence. Like we can't just say something about the person that's not true. We can't make up a whole day in their life.
Wait, is this writing?
Okay, so now if you have notes and you haven't been journaling, what you want to go do is maybe take the notes out of your book or go through your book or find the places that you took the notes. And then think about your notes, and if it's a choice, like a really important choice the character made, then you might want to journal about that. But if it's just something that the person did that was maybe an interesting fact, you might want to skip that for now, just because remember today we want to read long and strong and write as much as we can. So when I'm keeping my journal, sometimes I take the sticky note from the book, like I'll read my biography, and you know I have sticky notes all throughout the book. But if I find this sticky note I thought was really important choice that the character made, I I took it out and I lifted it from my book and I put it in my journal. And then I wrote a little journal entry about this one sticky note, but then I just kept it in here because I thought this might help me later if I wanted more information. So that's what you could do right now. I think you two are ready to take your sticky note from your book or your fact that you wrote from your book, lift it, transfer it into your journal, and now change it into words like you're writing like the person wrote, right? Okay. So let's try this. I showed you what I was doing. Now before you leave and go off to keep doing your work, I want you to try it. So take a sticky note you've already written. Because you told me they were really important choices. Find a good fact, and you find a good fact. And you find one too. One that you haven't done yet. Okay, that's okay. That's a really good thing. Because sometimes you find a couple different notes you want to combine into one. That's good.
Because I just thought about the last time she wrapped up.
Okay.
I was about to be
Okay. So you're just going to keep gathering a little bit more and writing a couple more. Okay. So you know what you're doing. Oh, you're fine. You can stay here and I'll check it in a few minutes then. Okay. The Waltz likes to draw and is very smart. That's from the beginning of the book, right? Now you told me you read the whole book. So what else do you know about him? Because I know this about him too.
I know that he works in business
Okay, beyond that, beyond the beginning of the book, go back to more the middle to end of the book.
It took 2 years to make the movie Snow White.
Okay, do you think that's a really key, important fact that it took 2 years to make Snow White? What does that teach you about the character? Okay, so if I said to you, Walt Disney took 2 years to make the movie Snow White, this makes me know that. You might have a lot of details. What does this make me know about him? I'm going to say it again. Walt Disney took 2 years to make the movie Snow White. Now I know that Walt Disney was... This makes me think that he was a... Well, he worked with a group, but I want you to tell me something about his character. He took 2 years to make the movie Snow White. This makes me know that he was a really... He was a great illustrator. He was famous. He worked with a group. All those things you're saying, but what about his character? Like when we talked about what's all about the character inside, those traits. Can Dylan help you? Because he has an idea. Okay.
I think he's a hard worker.
Okay, a hard worker. He doesn't give up. Do you see how he pulled that from that? So I think you should write that on a sticky note. And then I bet you could find other parts of the book that help you know that he was a hard worker and he never gave up. Because I think I know that about Walt Disney, that he was like that.
But he was a hard worker. He lost his first movie and his first movie.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Listen, this is really important. What I just said to you was we found things about his character because we learned that because he took 2 years to finish something, we learned that he was hardworking and he never gave up. So now what you're going to do, as you keep reading, I want you to find other parts of the book that showed this. And I want you to write down like the page number and what part of the book. Like what did he do that showed he was hardworking and he never gave up? No, not now. First finish this. Worker and he never gave up. Because we need more than one piece of evidence from the book to say this is true. So I want you to keep looking for more evidence. Like a detective, right? Say, at the end of our workshop, we're sharing some really good work that some readers have done. So Noah, he came up to me and he said, Mrs. Jones, I had a word, I didn't know what it meant, and I figured it out using a strategy that we learned today. So what word did you do?
I had
Find.
apparatus.
Okay, you found the word apparatus. And as you read, did you think, I need to figure out this word? Because
Yes.
it's important to know? Okay. And what did you do?
I kept on reading ahead until I figured it out.
And what does it mean?
It means a tall cabinet with a trunk inside.
So it's some kind of equipment that he used, Houdini used for a magic trick?
Yep.
Awesome, good job.